Let's talk about something that, I mean, all through the course of my prepping for this conversation kept coming up. And the talk about the disproportionate vulnerability of West Africa to the climate change, particularly because we don't seem to cause a lot of it. We don't contribute a lot to the damages that's happening to the climate, but we seem to be suffering the impact more. Can you speak to the validity of that continuous comment that West Africa is most vulnerable in spite of not contributing to the emissions?
Yes, let me, before I get down to West Africa, Africa as an entire continent have only contributed between 2 to 3% of the entire greenhouse gas emissions. That means Africa as a whole is a negligible emitter. When it comes to West Africa, of course, what you've said is very true. It's contributed very least to the changing climate, to the greenhouse gas emissions. And as I said earlier, the entire continent, and West Africa inclusive, is an agrarian continent. Most of the households depend on the agricultural sector, and because of the changing climate that is exacerbating and increasing the droughts, these are actually causing crop failure. And when this causes crop failure that are the source of livelihood for over 65% of people in West Africa and the continent, what do you expect? They become poorer. They then search for other alternatives to survive. They look for these alternatives, not even in places where they are best. That means they move away from their home. They move away even from their countries to others. And these then only worsen the situation. So the point at the moment is, how can we be able, despite the fact that climate change is happening now and it is with us and is affecting people in West Africa, how can we leverage this challenge and turn it into an opportunity? And I think that is really where the focus should be, because in as much as the changing climate is plunging millions in West Africa into suffering, there are also windows of opportunity that we can also focus on to seize and better the livelihoods of humanity.